You can study when, where and how you like, alongside your other commitments. You set your own study timetable. As an educational charity, our main aim is to support you throughout your course. Start by choosing the course you want to study, then enrol online or by phone. Our experienced and friendly course advice team are here to advise you. Remember, NEC is here to help you achieve your goals.
Hi everybody, welcome to today's webinar. I'm Esther Chesterman and I'm the CEO of the National Extension College, and I'm delighted to welcome Peter Stewart from ICB. Hello Peter.
Hi Esther, nice to be here, nice to be with you.
Great, thank you. You know, we're really pleased to welcome you. This is the first time we've had somebody from ICB join us for one of our webinars, so we're very excited to hear from you. So just to let everybody know how the next 30-40 minutes will progress. So firstly, I'm going to run through a few slides just to explain a little bit for those who don't know about the National Extension College, and then also give you a little bit of a feel for how we as an organisation work. Then I'm going to hand over to Peter, who's going to give you lots of information about ICB, about bookkeeping, and some sort of recommendations around careers that you can move into following a bookkeeping qualification. So looking forward to hearing from Peter. Then we'll come back to me just to give a run through around just some details about our course. And then we'll wrap up for some Q&A if there's anybody who has any questions. You'll see the comments box at the side of or underneath if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching live, then please do type and say hi. We love to know that we've got people in the room who are going to chat to us. And also just write a comment or a question as it comes into your head. That's absolutely fine. We might not answer them straight away, but we'll get to them at the Q&A. So just if you think of something or you want to say hello, please do write something in the comments box. Sounds good. So I'll start. So National Extension College, it's our 60th birthday this year. Would you believe it, Peter? And I don't look a day over 59, no. So we're 60 this year. So we've been in operation since 1963 and set up as an education charity at that point. And we're really proud of our heritage, really proud of the work that we've done to ensure that everybody, whatever their context, has access to high quality education and courses. And with our legacy, we've been doing that very well for the last 60 years. So we've got lots of exciting things planned this year to help celebrate our 60th year. One of the areas that we're also very proud of is the support that we offer our students. And that's part of what we do to ensure that we are inclusive, that we offer really flexible courses, and that we utilise the dedication of our staff and our tutors to help all students meet their learning goals. Students may have left standard education or be looking for a second chance in education. It could be that it's a retake of a qualification, a first time taking qualification, or moving into lifelong learning or career change. Lots of things at the moment in the news about people looking for different careers, or somebody looking to go back into the work environment, perhaps exploring what that might look like for them. So this is a really timely webinar, I think, Peter, because we have lots of inquiries around bookkeeping, what it is, what sort of careers people can move into with it, and how it can help them perhaps if they're self-employed. So there's quite a contextual element to this as well, I think. So from an education perspective at NEC, we have the ICB Level 2 certificate in bookkeeping. And how we operate is we're an online distance learning provider. So all our courses are interactive, they're tutor supported, and students will work through material on our platform using practice exercises and working through the material with the guidance of a tutor. And the benefit to studying distance learning is that students can study at a time and a place that's convenient for them. So there's not specific classroom times that it might be challenging for you to attend. You can work in your own environment, so whether you're working in another job or whether you have caring commitments or just other things in your life, you can fit our bookkeeping course around your context. And that makes it really accessible, very inclusive, and really flexible for our learners. So that's given you hopefully a little bit of an overview of how we operate and who we are. Peter, are you okay to take over now? I'm going to stop sharing my slides.
Yeah, okay. Well, there's that tricky bit where I hope that I managed to share the screen.
We have practiced this, everybody, but as you know, practice and then live is always very different.
So it should be good to go now.
Okay, great, thanks.
Hopefully that's me. So yeah, thank you, Esther, for the introduction. As Esther said, I am Director of Learning at ICB. Now, what that means is that I look after a syllabus and I look after the exams for that syllabus. ICB is not a training provider. That's why we like having partnerships with organisations like the NEC, who we can trust to look after students who are aiming to get the ICB qualification. So what I'll do, I'll start just by talking a little bit about the syllabus that we have and try to describe it for you in a way that maybe helps you decide why you should do ICB rather than any number of other accounting qualifications and diplomas and so forth that are kicking around. I'll talk a little bit about the way in which we assess the syllabus, because we do it differently to other accounting bodies, and I think it's important for you to realise what is going to happen when you choose a qualification to follow. And the last thing that I'll talk about is career building and where this qualification can take you. So without any further ado, the qualification is designed to give you confidence and competence that you can operate as a bookkeeper. Now, a bookkeeper is it's not as clearly defined as we would like. There's a bit of overlap between being a bookkeeper and being an accountant, but we are very firmly camping in the ground of the bookkeeper. Accountancy leads down a number of other routes like audit and taxation, corporate finance, and so on. And that's not what we're there for. Where I've written an MICB. An MICB is a designation you get when you complete the entire level 2 plus level 3 qualification. You become a member of the Institute of Certified Bookkeepers. And with that qualification and with the AICB, which comes after the level 2, you can market yourself to employers and to clients. Interesting hearing Esther mention, a lot of our members are self-employed. They run their own practice, helping small businesses, whether it's even a self-employed individual, a small business such as, I don't know, local car repair shop or something like that. Keeping accurate financial records so that they can be used for things like bank loan applications. They can be used, well, if it's a limited company, they have to be filed. VAT returns have to be done, tax returns have to be done, and they all come from accurate and reliable financial record keeping. And that's what bookkeeping is all about, making sure that receipts and invoices are recorded and classified accurately. Accountants always avoid the word correctly. They use true and fair, but accurately is the best way to describe it. Now, our syllabus talks about what those skills are and helps you learn the skills that you would be providing. And when you carry the MICB or the AICB designation, you're going out representing the ICB. So there's a bit of a circle that goes on in that The syllabus describes what you are able to do. Any potential client or employer could, if they so desired, find the syllabus and say, this person, if they're classed AICB or they're classed MICB, then they are able to do this. So we're putting our faith in the exams and in the learning that somebody who comes out with that designation will do kind of what it says in the syllabus. So we support you, you represent us, and that becomes a happy working partnership. So yeah, we have a reputation. It's a strong reputation in the small, medium-sized business world, but it's a reputation that is built almost entirely by the competence of our members and the excellent service that they provide to their clients. So when we're building a qualification, we've got to think about what needs to be delivered, the technical content, what you need to be able to do, and that's where a training provider will help you. And then we've got to think about how we will assess it. Now, I said I would make some comparisons with other qualifications. Here's a couple of things that matter, and it's why we do things the way we do them. We don't have any assumption that when you start out, you have got a GCSE in accounting or an A-level in accounting or work experience or anything like that might give you a head start. We start building from the very, very bottom rung of the ladder. So you don't have to be worried about what you've done before now. You don't need to have any particular strength in your prior learning. Obviously, people talk about bookkeeping in the world of accounting as being about numbers. Yes, numbers come into it, but if you use a calculator, if you use a spreadsheet, then you're using the tools that help you with the numbers. You don't have to be like Carol Vorderman or Rachel Riley on Countdown and be able to do mental arithmetic at the speed of knots. Another thing that sets us apart from other qualifications is that trainees studying towards ICB tend to be self-sufficient. They're not working in a finance department with a supervisor who will check their work and help them along the way. And they're not necessarily doing work that is relevant to the qualification. Now, a lot of other qualifications do that, and it means they can get away with things that we can't within the qualification and within the exams. We have got a UK qualification. We focus on how things are done in the UK. Other qualifications will present you accounts and so on using international financial reporting standards. That's not where our members work, so we don't go down that avenue. As I've written there, though, it does give you the foundation of anything that anyone in finance and accounting does. I often use the example of a friend of mine who's a CEO in a large tech corporation. And if somebody puts a proposal to him, he'll very often ask them, yeah, but what's the double entry? What's the bookkeeping recording that's for that? And it could be a multi-million-pound transaction, but he always checks, could you do this in a level 2, level 3 bookkeeping qualification? Could you put it into that language? So what we do with our exams is that we simulate what goes on in the workplace or in the environment where our members work. So there's a lot of scenario setting, fictitious scenarios, but they're based on things that our members come across month in and month out. Complete this set of records, say what the totals are when you've recorded all these invoices and all these bills. We run open book exams, by and large. There's one that's not. That's our final admitting exam. But open book just means that you can refer to any materials that you would if you were doing the job of a bookkeeper. If you've been given a set of invoices and so on to look after, you might want to look something up just to double check. that's part of being a bookkeeper, so that's included in the way in which we assess things. The last thing, and I don't mean to scare people when I say this, is that we have a remarkably high passing standard, a pass mark. Most qualifications have got 50% pass mark. We have generally, with one exception, we've got an 85% pass mark. I know that sounds scary, but with the open book, with the practical nature of the tests that we're doing, and with the support of good training providers, we find that students who are taking these exams, again, it's 85% pass mark, but it's also about an 85 to 90% pass rate. And that's looking at the first time passes. So we set those standards just so that we can be really confident that bookkeepers know what they're doing and they can go into the workplace without needing to have the holding hand of a supervisor. We've got 2 levels, and NEC are launching the level 2 course just now. There's 3 exams along the way there. The first 2 are, they get you comfortable with the principles of what bookkeeping is. And you know, if you've heard the phrase double entry, that's where we build things from. You understand definitions, you understand how to classify different types of expenditure and different types of income. Some very fundamental things that are in there. So A1 and A2 are our first 2 exams, and they're taken using objective testing. It's either multiple choice tests or you're asked a question, you know, what would the VAT be on this invoice? And you put a number into a cell. There's only one correct answer, and it's taken on computer. It's marked by the computer. You can take it at 6 in the morning. You can take it at 6 in the evening. You can take it on a Monday, a Wednesday. You can take it when you like. And it's got all that flexibility and instant results for you. The A3 scenario that is mentioned there is another thing that makes us stand apart. When you work as a bookkeeper or an accountant or in business almost anywhere, you will use bookkeeping software to maintain the records. Almost certainly you'll use bookkeeping software. So we have a test of competence using bookkeeping software where we set a scenario, we give you a description of a month, I think it is, or a few months, of transactions, record them onto the software, produce reports, let us see the reports, and we'll grade from that. And when you've got that, then you get the associate membership, AICB designation, which measures or says to the marketplace, look, you can do assistant accountant or assistant bookkeeping work, no problem. And you're experienced in it because the scenarios have set you up for that. Moving on to level 3, that's going from data entry and recording things correctly and coming up with reports through to production of final accounts. And we look at the 4 main types of client that you might deal with. Self-employed individuals, who have income from their work. They might have other income. They might, they might have other income coming in, but they produce a set of accounts from the transactions. Partnerships where 2 or 3 people go into business together. Not-for-profit organisations. A lot of our members look after the books for small charities, maybe social clubs, church organisations, and so on. Again, there's a slightly different requirement there than in an organisation that goes out to make a profit. You hope to do when you're self-employed or in a partnership or a limited company. And again, limited companies got different requirements altogether. When you've got through those, we do have a final admitting exam, which is a closed book exam. It's taken under invigilation, which is invigilation done remotely, so webcam and using your smartphone camera as recording devices, and that creates a file that is reviewed by an invigilator. Again, there's no restriction on when you take it, where you take it, as long as you've got reasonable broadband access. And when you've done those 5 exams, that's what leads through to the membership and the option to set up your own practice and trade as a bookkeeper, as I described before, working for any of these types of organisation, any mixture. You don't have to specialise in partnerships or in limited companies. You then have great flexibility to take on work that suits you. The majority of our members are ladies, female, are about 70 or over 70% of our membership is female. And of that, a very large chunk of it is people who have achieved all sorts of different things in early careers, maybe stopped and had a career break while they've raised a small family, and now they're looking for something with flexibility so that they can work when they want, take on long hours, short hours, but fit it into their own time. And that's where the practice license comes in excellently. Having a practice license just means that your work is supervised by ICB, and it gives you the authority to go out and, as I say, tout for business. Very quickly, there are a couple of other things that we find our members want to do, so we give them the tools so that they can gain extra specialisms. One is payroll management, so obviously looking after the wages and salaries of small businesses. And then for members, they might find that clients are asking for additional services like completing their self-assessment tax return, or if it's a company, then actually filing the financial statements with Companies House. Corporation tax follows on from doing that. And business insight is more an analytical thing. It's helping clients to understand what it actually means when they look at a profit and loss account or a balance sheet. Is there anything they need to control? Are there decisions that they need to make? And as I say, understanding the strengths and weaknesses of their business. So that's a sum total of ICB's qualifications. I know that we're talking about the level 2, so I will stop going on about things, that are beyond that, and I will hand back so Esther can carry on.
Thank you so much, Peter. That's been fascinating. I was really intrigued that 70% of your membership are female. That's very
interesting. Our conferences are always good fun. There's lots of dancing at the conferences.
I have been to one of your conferences.
Oh, yeah, good.
Yeah, I think we met at one of the conferences.
Yeah.
So I don't think I danced with you though, Peter. So thank you very much for that. Very interesting to understand how the scaffolding of the membership works as well. So I'm sure a lot of people might not have known that. So it's good to know. So as I said previously, so as Peter also mentioned, we focus on the ICB Level 2 Bookkeeping Certificate, which is an interactive online distance learning course with tutor support. So it's a self-study course for students to work through with some really lovely examples of the application that you talked about, Peter, how to actually apply your learning and to test and check your knowledge before you take the final assessments. As companions to these courses, we've also developed 2 basic courses for Xero and QuickBooks. These are not accredited. They are purely for people who perhaps have completed the ICB course or have are on the course itself and are looking to enhance their skills with a specific software package. And we have QuickBooks and Xero as starting points. They're quite popular software packages for bookkeeping now. So that's whether, as Peter mentioned, you're looking at looking after your own books for your own business, or looking at developing a career and supporting in a self sort of licensed way of putting forward your skills to people who might want them. So we're also offering a discount. So anybody who has been listening to the webinar or listens to it watching live or listens to it back on our YouTube channel, this is a secret code for you that you can then gain a discount onto our ICB course or our QuickBooks or Xero courses. So do please have a look at that. You can use it online to enroll, or you can contact us, go to the course pages, and you'll be able to find the information you would like there. So it now leaves me to say, are there any questions? Whilst people are thinking about that, Peter, I'll just pick up on a question. No prior knowledge is needed. I think people would think about bookkeeping of being very mathematical. Is there a sort of a numeracy level that you would expect people to have reached? Do you note that in the specification, or is there just some guidance that you would suggest?
There's nothing that we'd say is compulsory. Yes, I mean, what would you be doing? You'll be adding, subtracting, multiplying, using 20% for VAT. I can't think of anything that's much more complicated than that in the qualification. As I said, you'll be using your own tools for this, and there's nothing to stop you using. You use your calculator. You use if you use spreadsheets for your totaling up and so on, then carry on using those. As the whole idea of the open book is to test, can you do in an exam environment what you would be doing for a client? So no, there's no minimum as such. So it's very, very open, and I really hope people are not put off. I mean, I did a degree in mathematics, so everyone said, "Well, of course you'll be a good accountant." And well, I didn't need the degree to do it. As I say, a little bit of adding and subtracting, and being able to tell that if you make a mistake on your calculator, if you're multiplying 2 times 22 and you end up with 222, just to know that that's not the correct answer. That's something went wrong spotting that, but that's not a high degree of numeracy.
And do you see the need for bookkeeping and bookkeepers growing? Have you seen an increase? Just because I'm thinking about the balance between the growth of micro and SMEs, charities, not-for-profit organisations and self-employed, has there been an increase in people wanting to gain that knowledge? Well,
there is. We've got a massive, now I can't remember the exact number, they talk about numeracy, I can't remember if it was 97 or 98%, but one of those two numbers is the percentage of companies that are small, medium-sized companies in the UK. And, as I say, it goes down to the individual, the window cleaner who set up a business as a limited company for, well, whether that's for tax reasons or whatever. Now, they're busy doing what they're doing to earn money, and they're not specialists in this. Now, bookkeeping software, as the adverts would tell you, makes life easy for you. So yes, you can scan in an invoice and record a receipt on your telephone, and that will do stuff behind the scenes. But you do need experts, knowledgeable people who will say, this all makes sense, and this is how it should ultimately be presented. So the small business person has got a responsibility to keep records, but to make sense of them, they need the bookkeepers. And as we move forward, the government have talked about, and it will happen eventually, they keep on pushing back the date for making tax digital. And that, again, most business people who concentrate on drumming up business and doing the work that they're being paid to do don't have time to get under the skin of that. So they need a specialist, and that's something we don't have as yet in our qualification because it's not yet relevant, but we've got stuff good to go as soon as the government make the decision. I can't remember what it is that keeps on scaling them away. Probably that the infrastructure isn't set up.
Yeah.
But you know, that will be, if anything, that will strengthen the need. You might get some small businesses that are fine recording everything on, I don't know, QuickBooks and completing the returns from that, and maybe taking a week off work to make sure everything tots up. But it will become more complex, and keepers will be there to support.
Great, thank you, Peter. So there's a place for the software, of course, and that can complete some aspects of the bookkeeping process, but the knowledge and skills that are needed to make your final return, it is wise to use somebody who has completed a course, has membership such as an ICB, has a license. And then I think then as somebody who is submitting accounts, you know that they're going to be accurate. I can't remember you said accurate financial reporting, but there was another term you used, fair and true.
True and fair.
True and fair, yes.
Yes. An auditor will never commit to saying these accounts are correct. They give a true and fair view of what the business has been doing.
Okay, that's good. I think we can leave it there then, Peter, on a true and fair around our understanding of ICB, and obviously hopefully people's understanding of how we operate with you as an accredited training provider and as a distance learning college. Thank you so much for sharing your slides with us and your insight into the qualification and to your organisation. And hopefully we'll do another one of these when the new digital tax comes out. Then we'll be talking about that, which is a riveting subject, I'm sure. Thank you for your time, Peter.
All right. Thank you, Esther. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.